Hello Spartans, Shadow25,000 here, welcome to episode 21 of RCT3 Let's Play 2014. And it has begun. We've begun the supports for this wooden roller coaster. Oh god, what was I thinking? So, anyway, I know this looks all fast on your screens, but in reality this took me ages to build. I'll admit, it's not so much the size though on it. For the lift hill and first drop back is a bit of a problem. It's more like the fact the shapes I have to sculpt, because normally with the standardized Super Wooden Coaster it's all quite simple. With this you can literally create any shape you want. So you gotta so it's quite hard to try and get the shapes, the right kind of track alignments. So right here, how I always do, I usually do my wooden supports quite methodically. Start by tracing the outline of the track, then build vertical beams down from that, then do the horizontals, then the diagonals. So each kind of I kind of do it in steps, and each one kind of comes about 6 or 7, 8, about 8 steps. Because obviously there's tracing, verticals, horizontals one side, horizontals down the other side, horizontals down the middle, diagonals on side, diagonals other side, diagonals down the middle. So yeah, it's pretty tedious. So right here we're just doing the vertical supports for the lift hill. That's all we did today. So right here I was just trying to line up the verticals so I didn't have the car charging through a wooden beam. So I left that there and had that all lined up. Then the rest of it was just pretty plain sailing. So, and on your screens it's sped up by about 4.5 times, something like that. But in reality this took me half an hour or so. I must admit, I was slightly surprised at the pace, but really it's the horizontal beams that are killer. So yeah, I was just getting up to the top. If you noticed me pause in this episode briefly, that's because I was changing my music. Oh no, I didn't do first in this episode because I want to find a good set that's good for us. And then I messed up an alignment on the beam. So I always do the 1H horizontals first, just so I know what kind of heights I need to do. So that was all going well. I've got those all done. Then I got placing on the beams on this side. Oh no, I only did partial wide supports, but because obviously I want to try and conserve RAM and graphics processing. Besides, I have managed to crash the game. Oh yeah, and there's me choose my music. Because in case you haven't seen, well, in Orthodox, the one that's on YouTube is actually take 2. Because on the first attempt, I went so mad with the supports, I overloaded the game. So yeah, I was just placing more beams and just more horizontals. So these are just carrying on. And I was almost at the top on that side, and I was like, yay, 1 step down, phase 1 of 6. That was a case of the cross horizontal beams. So this is kind of a reasonable tutorial on how to do wooden coaster supports. I picked this up this method from Mr. Back 17 or whatever his name is. It's quite good, effective and simple. So I just do more cross beams. It's kind of I don't really know what to say. But as before, always check out the competition. Wow, I'm so terrible. Yeah, I'm really sad. I just got back from a 2-hour cycle where I did Richmond Park, so not in the greatest form in the world. Might do some more RCT3 this afternoon once this is uploaded. Because at the moment the time is 1:33. So so I was doing placing more beams just because I like having the wooden coasters crossing over each other. Although I didn't do that at all in Orthodox. So I decided to amend that statement to do that and do that a lot more in this coaster. So I was just like, so here I find it quite helpful to start from the top doing this kind of these beams. So save the game, always save the game. Then I decided to add a little detail and do some steel beams across the bottom of the arches, just for some structural support. I must admit, a joy of this CT is that if you misplace a wooden beam, it's much more forgiving, because with the standard one, obviously the supports are there, so you can't really delete without zooming in at point blank range. So this, if you just misplace, you can just right click and delete. So right here is just do more the diagonal beams. So what I always do is, like, if there's a turn coming up, I always have the diagonal beams pointing away from the turn, as you'll see. And also, when we get to the other side, you'll see that you always want to have them crossing each other. So I was just placing the last of those, and then went back to the bottom and started doing these. So you see, I had them pointing away from the curve. So this is all good. So these are all coming along. Just placing more and more beams. For the record, the set I'm using is Big Burger's Timber. The 30 set V2. I'm using the 30cm version as opposed to Silver using the 20cm version. Trust me, by the time you get to the final place in the final set of diagonals, it kind of all becomes a bit mesmerizing. And my stomach's growling. So just placing more and more beams. So just carrying on with that and just placing. So then I was done with the diagonal beams, now you're going the diagonals on the other side. So you kind of want them crossing over each other. So from center it's kind of like an X crisscross thing. Looks much cooler. With these I decided not to fill in the ones where it wasn't 4H, except for the ones over the thing in the middle. So this is all going well. I was just placing more beams, it was all going to plan, and I realised I missed a horizontal. So, hit the horizontal, then got back into the swing of the diagonals, and I was almost done. I was just like, alright! Then I was just like, yes! Then I was like, right, wide supports. Because obviously this looks a bit thin. Although I only did them on this side because, well, I'm probably not going to have that many shots on that side, but I might. I'll see what. Also, well, I did do them on the far side because this video is compiled of 2 time lapses actually. I did do wide supports on the other side, but only after the track comes in, because obviously you can't want the wide supports kind of help take the stresses of the G-forces the coaster experiences. So here is just do more horizontal beams. This is just to connect the 8H's to the main structure, and just diagonals. So now I was doing the horizontal beams. With these, you can kind of like literally build little extra supports out on the side. So this is all, so I was just placing all these, and I was just like, oops, misplaced those. So I decided to get the diagonals. So that was right. Okay. Then I realized I still need to do the horizontal beams on the slopes. Actually, I was just doing the horizontal beams the whole thing. I don't know how good the resolution you're watching is. I hope you're watching in HD because I have it on preview setting in Vegas and I can barely make out a thing. It's just a mess of brown. So this is all coming along nicely. Just for the record, I'm filming this while I'm uploading episode 20. So I was almost done with the wooden supports, with the wide supports, and then I said, right, that's good. So save the game. I was going to do some footers, but then decided, nah. So I'm going on the second side and hit the camera reset button again. So sides just keep going on the set of wide supports on the other side. So just obviously same the 1H beams again, and then just place it. I decided to do it slightly more methodically. I'll admit, on Orthodox, what I did was I had a load of pre-made wide supports, but I had to delete all the diagonal beams, obviously, because you can see how it wound up. But I had a whole load of pre-made wide supports, like all of them at 3 different variants. I had them about something like 10 different height settings. I might bring those in. I even put footers on them. Oh well. So I was just doing more diagonal beams, just placing these. and I was almost getting to the finish. In fact, I almost starting to finish. So I think I'm going to sign off. I'm Shara25,000. You're watching RCT3 Let's Play 2014, and this is youtube.com/Marshmallow Murderers. I will see you in the next episode.
Oh!